This album is a journey. It's like, it takes you on a tour.
Miranda Lambert is taking us on the road with her 9th studio album, Palomino. Now, if you count the Pistol Annie's records, which she writes a lot of songs for, this is album number 14. That's crazy. Now, it's no secret that I love albums, and no one in the musical game has the consistency of Miranda Lambert. Her debut album, Carousel, was solid, but the 7 albums since then have been one of the best albums or the best album of that particular year. So she has set the bar crazy high for herself. So, can she reach that bar again with Palomino? She explained to iHeartRadio her approach to this collection of songs.
We take you to all kinds of places and meet all kinds of characters on Palomino.
She echoed that in a tweet on release day, writing, "You'll visit 36 places as you travel through this record. You'll meet characters like Katie with a K and Trucker Dwayne. You'll get acquainted with old friends like Geraldine and visit places we've been like Waxahachie." I probably didn't pronounce that right. So I'm going to give you my first listen reaction to each track. I'm going to let's do it right now. And also, as we go along, we're going to hear what Miranda says about each one of those tracks. So let's hit the road.
Acting Up felt right for the first song.
Mirror, mirror on the saddle, hear my rhinestones rattle, acting up.
The first line of a record, that's important. You can lose people quick, you know? So I always try to put something that's like, I would want somebody to go, start that over.
Mirror, mirror on the saddle, hear my rhinestones rattle, acting up.
So I was thinking of the disco saddle at Billy Bob's.
And there's the saddle in the Fort Worth Concert Hall that inspired Miranda.
That'd be a cool visual to start a song with.
First track, Acting Up, a song that we did here before the album was released.
Call me hotter than wasabi, cause I'm acting up.
I love the attitude in the lyrics and in Miranda's vocals, and this line.
Even Tiger Woods couldn't swing it this good, I'm acting up.
Even Tiger Woods couldn't swing it this good. I was like, okay. Instantly elevated it. We ran with that. We ran with all these crazy metaphors that don't really make any sense, but they make total sense.
But the thing I still can't reconcile is the switch in the refrain.
I want a sunset ride, a velvet rodeo.
It's too jarring to me, and it sounds too typical. Like, I love the simplicity of the arrangement in the verses, so yeah, when it goes to that refrain with the full production, it just still doesn't fully work for me, but this is a solid opener to the album.
It sort of sets the tone of like, we're about to do some
Never turn a leaf, moving right along to the next scene.
Second track, Scenes. So this has that Trucker Dwayne and Katie with a K that Miranda was talking about.
I met a trucker named Dwayne south of the 10.
This has a great groove to it, and it blows me away that 9 albums in, Miranda can still take the typical elements of country music and do something we haven't heard from her before.
Another motel room, another crescent moon. I've seen El Paso when the sky was on fire.
If I could get as close to an Emmylou Harris country song as I could, I think In His Arms is that one.
In His Arms. So this was a song that was on the Marfa tapes last year, and it was beautiful.
I've seen El Paso when the sky was on fire.
And I gotta say, I was weary of her decision to do that song again on Palomino because the acoustic presentation of it on the Marfa tapes was so exquisite, but how dare I doubt Miranda at this point?
Easy, breaking horses in San Antonio.
The studio version isn't massively different. I mean, it's still acoustic. There's an echo added to Miranda's vocals. But the thing that stood out to me that I really enjoyed was that we didn't have the male vocals come in for harmony.
I wish I was in his arms tonight.
It was just Miranda's voice.
And I wish I was in his arms tonight.
I found it very fitting that on a song we're just singing about being lonely, that we're just hearing Miranda's voice and we don't hear those male voices coming for the harmonies.
Geraldine, Geraldine, why you gotta be so mean?
Geraldine, so this is another song that we heard before.
Geraldine, Geraldine, why you gotta make me mean?
It was so fun to sort of bring this like picnic blanket work tape into a ZZ Top rock and roll vibe and hear it all come together.
If I was a man, I'd make you my Dallas Alice.
If I was a man, I'd make you my Dallas Alice because you're hot, but back off.
And even though this song lyrically is a nod to Dolly's Jolene,
You trailer park pretty, but you're never gonna be Jolene.
We were consciously like, well, we're not trying to chase Jolene, obviously, so let's just say Jolene because we can't be Dolly and we can't beat that song.
This is one of the best examples of how I think that Miranda is doing in country music what Sheryl Crow was doing in rock music in the 90s, early 2000s.
But you can't take a man from me, now Geraldine.
This could be a Sheryl Crow track. I love the organs, I love the guitars, super fun track.
I wanna see it all, so I keep moving. I'm just a tourist.
Next track is Tourist, and Miranda revealed that this was the first song that they wrote for the album, and it really set the tone.
That's something I don't get to be a lot. I go on tour, but I'm not a tourist a lot, and I long for that. I have a gypsy soul, you know. I want to travel and take my Airstream and go see things.
I'm a guitar case and a denim jacket. If I don't need it, I don't pack it.
This song is really pretty. And the last song was a nod to Dolly, but really, this sounds more like a Dolly Parton track. It actually reminds me of Coat of Many Colors. Even like lyrically, they're not similar at all, because Coat of Many Colors is about a memory from home, and then Tourist is all about getting away from home. But yeah, it really has that feel to it.
I don't know where I belong and I sound foolish.
And we're at track 5 of this album, and usually on lesser albums, at this point, I'm starting to like assess the highs and lows and where do I land with this. Right now, I'm just enjoying the musical journey that Miranda is taking me on.
Rolling down the river on a Music City Queen.
Through Music City Queen, Miranda told KXKC 99.1 how this collaboration with the B-52s came about.
Natalie started doing this cool thing at the end. She's like, rolling down the river. And I was like, that's cool. And Luke's like, this kind of sounds like B-52s. And they were like, what if we could get them on this?
So her people, called the B-52 people,
We sent them the song and they loved it. So they zoomed in and they like did all their parts on Zoom because everyone lives in different places.
and come on!
If your heyday is faded,
You can still be a star.
get to boozing and cruising.
Maritime is a charm.
What baffles me about Miranda is that while she is a great keeper of the flame of true country music, she's also its biggest rebel, in that she challenges what country music is as well. And she doesn't do that bland, like pop country adult contemporary thing. Like she brings in rock and funk and gospel, and yeah, it's just mind-blowing. And yeah, Music City Queen is another great example of that. And CMT Awards, ACM Awards, listen up.
I hope that this turns into like a moment, because if I could do like Love Shack with B-52s, I mean, how cool would that be? If we could do Music City Queen into Love Shack, I think that would be end all be all.
If you're flashy and trashy, come on and get on.
Get on!
Strange is up next, and this is another single that we heard before the album came out.
And times like these make me feel strange.
I think Strange is permission to just let go for a sec.
Couple $100 feels more like change.
I was really wanting the chorus to lift, like literally, and just the emotion of it. I wanted it to kind of lift.
Have a smoke by around.
She wrote these songs in 2020, right in the middle of COVID. So I can't help but think that the pandemic inspired this track a little bit with lines like,
Times like these make me feel strange.
it's comforting to know that in those times of isolation, Miranda was writing this uplifting earworm.
And I climb the highest mountain and I look down at the sea.
Wandering Spirits is up
I
next.
fought with the boys a lot about this one. I love that song, and it's obviously Mick Jagger. It's like, you don't try to cover that.
And I said, oh, am I running in a race? I said, oh.
It says everything we say in this record about a journey and about being a gypsy.
Tried the pyramids and ruins of Van Gogh.
So we gave it a whirl, and I was like, if we try like a Ronstadt vibe, maybe I could get into it and like find my place. And we did, and I love it.
Wandering spirit.
It's one of my favorite things that we've done, because it really pushed me to do something that I was not comfortable with at first.
I mean, this is another example of Miranda pushing the boundaries of country music. This is real like southern rock with some gospel mixed in there. And yeah, like 9 albums in, she's still doing this surprising stuff.
No matter where I roam, I'll be loving you.
I'll Be Loving You is next, and it's another standout.
We went to a heart place in this song, like this big, bold love song.
I'll be loving you.
I'm trying to put my finger on it. Maybe I'll eventually figure it out. But on a first listen, like with a different production, I feel like Michael Bublé could sing this song. Like, it has a real swing to it, like a 1940s big band feel to it, like with a little bit of a different production. But yeah, love this track.
I'll be loving you.
Sing y'all a song about a jukebox. This one's called That's What Makes a Jukebox Play.
Is the next track, and she actually added this to her tour set list before the album came out. She performed it in Alabama on Wednesday.
For the lovers hanging out in the courtroom.
This reminds me of Dark Bars, which is a gorgeous song. So yeah, if you ever see Miranda Lambert sitting in a bar, she's probably formulating a song in her head about you.
For the Carolines, sipping their wine, hoping this is where the good ones are.
It's all the people that we see in the bars and that we are when we're there.
That's what makes the jukebox play.
I love how Miranda can go from like a full-out rock track to a very peaceful ballad.
For the belt buckle shiner, she's starting all the fires in her Levi jeans.
You just see all these people because we've seen it because we sit in dive bars. That's where country music lives and dies.
Making country money, making that country money.
To put country money over this like punk rocking kind of track, first of all, it's very intriguing.
Can't tell by her britches, but she's one rich SOB.
Country Money, a decent track. A song really has to be outstanding to pop at track 11 in an album, and this doesn't.
Carter sisters got the good corn liquor. Get the one with the peaches, it'll get you there quicker.
It's kind of something we've heard Miranda do before. Like I said, it's decent, but in an album of mostly standouts up to this point, it doesn't. If I was a cowboy, the first song that kicked off this journey to Palomino, I was already pretty much done with the record when Jesse Alexander and I wrote this song. We had a few days left in the studio, so we added it because it fit the vibe perfectly.
Sitting pretty on the prairie, baby, I'm your huckleberry, let me hold you.
If I Was a Cowboy, a track that we heard all the way back on October 15th of last year, the same day that Adele dropped Easy on Me, so probably not the best marketing plan, but it was another hit for Miranda. She just won Female Video of the Year at the CMT Awards.
We are cowboys, and we're going to continue to be. Cheers, y'all!
And it's not my favorite Miranda single, but this lyric alone is one of her best.
So mamas, if your daughters grow up to be cowboys, so what?
Waxahachie? Is that a better pronunciation? Closer? I don't know. Another Marfa Tapes carryover.
Waxahachie, are you still on 35?
This has been completely transformed. I love this one. I think I actually prefer this version to the acoustic one, but both are outstanding.
Waxahachie, are you still on 35?
For some reason, with a song like this, I just picture myself in like a car that I'm not in, and like rolling down the windows and just listening to this track on driving down the open road.
That's what you've always been. Waxahachie.
I think Pursuit of Happiness was when we were all like, okay, I think we've done it.
Yeah, I'm running just as fast as my heart can.
Pursuit of Happiness. This is appropriately the second last track on the album because it has Miranda self-reflecting and looking at the journey as a whole. It reminds me of I've Got Wheels and Running Just in Case off of The Weight of These Wings, two amazing tracks.
Some call me a fool and some just call it restlessness.
I really enjoy this track too. I'm surprised it's not the last track on the album because yeah, it feels like a closer.
If I had to give someone one song off the record and just say, take a guess what this album's about, that song sums it up.
I call it my pursuit of happiness.
So what is Carousel going to bring?
Every show must end, every circus leaves town.
If you write a song that makes your own self cry, I guess we did something right.
You don't know the magic's gone until the lights go down.
It was one of those songs where we're writing it and we're like, oh, this is getting somewhere. Ow, stuff's happening.
Now she's back in Nacogdoches, and I hear she's doing well.
It's such a metaphor for what we do. There's a part of the circus that lives in us because of what we chose to do. When bring the party to town, and then we pack it up and we take it to another town.
She only misses Harlan when she hears the carousel.
Holy crap. Wow. So that's a stunner. And it makes sense why Carousel is the last track on the album, because yeah, it's about someone being back home and looking back on the journey. Yeah, it has that kind of stop you in your tracks feeling. Same kind of feeling I got with Tin Man, that you just stop and listen to that track.
Her sequins and her secrets buried in her cedar chest.
Carousel is definitely one of the best on the album. It's rare that I would say that a closing track on an album should be considered to be a single, but yeah, I would definitely consider Carousel a strong contender to be a single.
I only miss my Harlan when I hear the carousel.
When it becomes her at the end, when she says, I miss my Harlan, it like kills me. And even just being a rider on it, like it still kills me. Like I know what's gonna happen. We made it up, but it still just pierces my heart every time. I'm like, oh, it's her. Like, oof.
Okay, now after just listening to Carousel, I gotta okay, stop for a second, yeah, and assess this album as a whole. Well, I mean, the question that I asked at the beginning, can Miranda reach that bar again, that high bar that she set for herself across her albums? Yep, yes she does. It's unbelievable. Yeah, like I said, like for someone to keep up the quality and the consistency for 9 albums, no one else in music is doing that. No one else has kept up the quality like that for 9 albums. So yeah, Palomino is another winner. The only track I would say that she could have left off was Country Money, just because, yeah, it doesn't add anything to the album and it doesn't add anything to Miranda's overall musical library. But yeah, it's another fantastic album from Miranda. I'm going to give it an A-. So yeah, it's going to be one of the best albums of 2022. What are your favorite tracks on Palomino?